Hello and welcome to Local Anaesthetic Podcast, your injection of mind-numbing local news. Only it isn't. This isn't an episode, everybody. This is not an episode, I repeat. This is a special announcement. Hope I did that well, Rob. Hope I gave that the gravitas it deserved. It's actually a really big announcement, Rob, considering we have been doing this podcast since 2012. We're getting married! No, we're not, Rob.
No.
Couldn't you persuade Sarah into some sort of polygamous sort of thing? Yeah, you know.
Well, I can ask.
Ask her.
Alex, I feel we're getting distracted.
Yes. What is the special announcement? The special announcement, everybody, which we wanted to put out a special message about. Obviously, we'll be putting it on Twitter and our Facebook page, but we wanted just to let all of our listeners know. And that special announcement is that we have launched on Patreon. We have finally got round to doing that. We've been thinking about it for a long time. And Rob, do you want to say a little bit about why we've chosen to do that after all this time?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as many of you know, and I think for those who have been with us since the beginning, we've been doing this since 2012, which, again, still staggers me.
What always makes me laugh, Rob, is that whenever you talk about the fact we've been doing this since 2012, I feel a sense of pride about that, whereas I always sense yours is mixed with some degree of despair.
Well, Alex, that is the case. I think if you'd asked me back in 2012 whether we'd still be going, I think I would give quite a mixed reaction to the fact we still are.
But for most people, Rob, if you start something and it has longevity, that's a sign of success.
Yeah, this feels like torture though most of the time.
It's like you saying, right, to Sarah after 12 years of marriage, you know, if you told me when we got married we'd still be here after all this time, I'd put my head in my hands in despair. It's a success, Rob. This relationship is like a marriage in many respects.
Alex, everyone knows with a marriage, you know, you put in less effort year on year.
Right, okay.
Until eventually just the love goes and you separate. But Alex, why are we doing this? I feel, again, this has to be said. So as I said, we've been doing this for the last 9 years, and we wanted to give the listeners the opportunity to support this podcast because we want to make it sustainable. We want to give it longevity. And if you're willing to do that, you'd really help us be able to maintain this podcast on a long-term basis. And so for a very, very small fee, we're not asking a lot. You'll be able to give something back to this podcast. And, you know, we are extremely thankful to everyone who supported the podcast over the last 9 years, for the listener stories, for the donations, but this is going to be something different.
Yes, and what we should say is, what we are saying is, via Patreon, you're not just setting up, you won't just be joining Patreon and joining us via Patreon and getting nothing back. What you'll be getting back is more exclusive local anaesthetic content, because we'll be releasing 2 bonus episodes per month on Patreon. And if you join us on Patreon now, if you become a subscriber to this podcast via Patreon, or what's it called? A patron, actually, I think is what it's called. Yeah, you become a patron
that's right,
to this podcast. There's already 3 episodes waiting for you there right now. And I'm so proud of those 3 episodes, mate. I enjoyed recording them so much. And they're brilliant. And they are a slightly different format because they are called Local Anaesthetic, an extra jab, and that's what they will be. An extra dose, really, of that good old local anaesthetic you know and love. More local news stories, more listeners submitted stories, and I had a fantastic time recording those 3, and those 3 are already up there, and there'll be 2 of those every month. It's going to be £2 a month for those of you who wish to join. Anybody who knows about Patreon will know there are kind of different tiers you can sort of join. We're just sticking with the 1 tier at the moment because we want to keep it simple.
I think it's fair to say, though, I mean, depending on how this goes, because I feel that, as you rightly say, the episodes we released, that we've recorded for Patreon are extremely high quality. I certainly enjoyed listening to them. But also, I think, you know, if this goes well, then we could actually put in further tiers. I mean, if we get the feedback, if that's what people want to do, if you want to maybe have, I don't know, maybe a live Q&A session, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. But I think we'll be led by our patrons on this.
Yeah, this is a start, isn't it, Rob, really? And so the way it will work is every month you get 2 LAPodcast and Extra Jab bonus episodes. They're going to be released exclusively to our Patreon supporters, so you won't find those anywhere else. We're keeping doing the free episodes. There'll still be 2 of those free a month because we want to draw in new listeners and we want to continue providing free content. Rob and I are socialists at heart, but this is needs must. So there'll always be the free episodes. We're not retreating behind a paywall. You'll still get those. But if you want those extra episodes, they'll be there for you via Patreon. And yeah, those bonus episodes, an extra jab bonus episodes, aren't available anywhere else, exclusively via Patreon. And if you join up each month, you'll get a private link to those episodes as they come up, and you can listen to them via your favourite podcasting apps by pasting in the link, or you can stream the audio from Patreon itself. There's lots of different options available to you there. So now, where can you find us? Very simple. You go to patreon.com/LAPodcast Extra. Patreon.com/LAPodcast Extra. It's going to be £2 a month.
Yep.
And for that, you're going to get 2 bonus episodes of LA Podcast, an extra jab every month exclusively to our Patreon supporters.
So that's it. That's our exciting news. We're extremely excited by this. I think it's going to be a fantastic endeavour. We hope people get on board with it. And as Bob Geldof said at Live Aid, give us your money.
Yes. What we would also say is we would
He's
ask
from Birmingham, right?
Rob, whatever. We would encourage all of you as well, please, to spread the word about this podcast, because we know we have some really loyal listeners. We have listeners who absolutely love this podcast. Tell people about it. Tell your grandmother if she's alive. Tell your friends if they're alive. Tell anybody, just random people on the street. Listen to LA Podcast and tell them what it's about. This is a podcast. We're the only podcast out there. We're a complete niche that covers local, weird, strange, funny, bizarre news stories from around the world. We're the only ones who do it, and we've been doing it since 2012, and we absolutely love it. So yeah, that's the announcement. There'll also be a link on the website to it.
Yep.
There'll be a link via Facebook and all those other things. But as I say, the URL, impossible to forget really, patreon.com/LAPodcast Extra. And that's where you will see this ability to sign up to receive our new content on a monthly basis. And of course, if you sign up, be aware that it's a rolling monthly thing. You can cancel at any time, so you're not tied in. We're not tying you into any sort of lifetime commitment, are we, Rob?
No, not at all. I mean, I just want to emphasise as well, obviously, that the free episodes will still be available. We realise not everyone will be able to afford, obviously, to pay that subscription per month. But if the very least, if you're not able to support us financially, please, as Alex said, spread the word, spread the gospel of local anaesthetic far and wide.
Indeed. Okay, thanks, Rob. On that note, we'll sign off and we'll see you very soon, either for our regular LA podcast or local anaesthetic podcast, an extra jab via Patreon. God bless.
And keep it local.